So this is the review I've made now for Love Lola. From my research, I realised the way it's set out and its layout is quite important really in the actual review itself, and if it's something that people would read in the magazine. So I made sure that that was sort of key to my review here, and the way it was presented was important as to whether people would be interested in actually looking then at the review itself. Starting off in the left-hand corner, I added the Total Film logo so that it looked authentic and part of the magazine. I then added a short summary of all the details you'd need in the film, so the title, who directed it, the release dates, things like that, so you had all the information you'd need at a glance in case you didn't want to read the entire review. I then also made it clear with the 4 stars at the top that I was talking about a positive film here, something I was praising, so then again you might be intrigued to then carry on looking, as it could be something you're interested in as it has such a positive feedback. I then added an image here, so talking about presentation again, I thought it was important that I had used images which portrayed the film well and as it is itself. So I had the picture of the 3 characters at the top here, so you could realise who's who, and if they were famous, and it was a real review, you might then realise who the characters are, which actors they're using, and it might be someone then you're interested to go and watch. Underneath that I had the title Love Lola, and then underneath that I did the actual review. I decided to keep this one quite short and snappy, as I felt that the LA Confidential review I did was quite long and long-winded, so if a reader hadn't seen the film before they might get bored of the review, and then it might put them off the film because I've been talking for so long in the review. I decided to make this one a bit shorter and a bit more to the point, so that people got the positive feedback that they needed to then go and watch the film. However, it didn't go on forever, so they didn't get bored. So in the actual review, I just wrote things such as, the story is full of twists and turns, culminating in its final fight scene that engages you from the start. With its excellent music and dialogue, the piece is easy to follow but not boring. It's a must-see even if you're not a film noir fan. Just things like that, which just made it gave it positive feedback, and would then tell the viewer that it's something they should go and see. As well as that, I made it clear who was who, with the characters and the actors' names in brackets at the top of the review, so they knew who I was talking about. And then I thought the image at the top of the 3 of them again would then link, and they'd know who's who from the names. So on the right-hand side of the double-page spread, I thought it would be a good idea to just have a plot summary, so I added one there so that I just had a knowledge of the plot in case they didn't want to have to read the entire review. They'd know what it's about and have an idea of if they'd be interested to then actually go and see the film or not. So then I did one massive image here, because I found on a lot of other reviews that I've looked into, such as the Avatar's Total Film review they did, they had a massive image of the 2 main characters in the film, so you knew straight away what the film was. And I felt this image would probably be the most iconic poster I've made. So if the audience member saw this in the magazine, they'd realise that the film was Love Lola and then want to read the review. And then underneath that, I just enlarged a quote from the review itself. It's a must-see even if you're not a film noir fan. From the quote, they can then establish that it's a film noir, so the genre, and the idea that it's not just for that small, unique fan base. There's something for everybody in the film, as it has so many subgenres in it. Then looking at the actual colour scheme, I decided to keep it quite formal and neat, as I thought that was quite important. It needed to look like a reliable source, so I thought if it looked quite formal and stylistic, it would engage the reader, and they'd trust what they're reading when it says it's a positive film to go and see. Positive feedback. So on every text box I made, I added a red border, which made it all linking well with each other and synchronised the colour across the page, and also linked with the logo of the Total Film as well, as that's in red. So I thought it gave it a nice just finishing touch to the entire film, giving it that edge it needed to make it look a bit more formal and sophisticated.